So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, there should be a few more devotees coming. If not, it doesn't matter, we just plow on. So I'd like to thank Trikal Prabhu and also Bimal Krishna Prabhu for sparing your very valuable time. I know you're in Vrindavan, very, very busy, and I really appreciate you sparing this time. And Shiv Dayal Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Priyavrat, Shatrughn Prabhu, he's on duty at the moment, so he may not be able to participate too much. And Karuna Bandas from Mauritius. So I wanted to perhaps, Trikal Prabhu, would you maybe give us an update on where we are in terms of the property and the development of the property? Maybe that's a good start.
Yeah, the properties in Madhuvan colony in Vrindavan is hardly 5 to 7 minutes walk from ISKCON temple. And if you know, when you come from, if you've been to Vrindavan, when you come out of the ISKCON temple to go to Parikrama, you turn right on the Parikrama mark, and hardly maybe 2 minutes down the road is Krishna Balaram tree. And opposite that tree is the road which leads to Madhuvan colony. It's a very convenient spot. The property itself is being transferred in the name of GIVE. The legal papers are in process, and we're hoping that by next week we can get round everything up. Bimal Krishna Prabhu and another one person and the lawyer will be with us to make all that happen. At the moment on the property, we have ground floor and first floor. That's how we refer to in England. In America, we refer to the ground floor as first floor and second floor as the next floor. So we'll go by England standard. That on the ground floor, we are turning 50% of the property into a Guru Maharaja's Memorial Museum, and that is of the primary importance for our discussion this evening. We will cover that a little later. And on the next floor up, we already have 3 rooms. On one side, on the property was built in 2 halves. First half, 50% was built about 20 years back. And the second half was built about 5 years back in 2017. So now we are planning to go 1 more floor up. And that means going to the second floor. Ground floor, first floor existing, and then second floor. This legally we are allowed to go up to second floor. I think Bimal will agree with that. And beyond that, yes, you pay a lot of fees. So that will suffice us. On the first floor, we will be having offices. These offices will be, one will be legal and finance office. Second office will be several cubicles for administration purposes for GIVE. And then the third office is the executive office where, the trustees and the directors, when they're here and they need to use the office, they will. And individuals like Bimal and myself who are here will be, utilizing that office on a regular basis. On the next floor up, which will be constructed, 50% of the floor will be like a conference room. It will be a nice big open hall. And it'll have a small stage so we can do presentations. And behind the stage, we will put one of the modern screens so we can be presenting whatever activities we are doing. There'll be a regular update on the PPTs and videos, and there'll be short clippings of different activities. So for example, we have we are doing education. So if somebody is interested in education, then they'll have a special presentation for them in education. If somebody is interested in protecting cows, likewise. So we have water pumps being installed. We have cows being taken care of. We are feeding people on the street. We are distributing rations, hundreds and hundreds of bags to the poor people in villages. And then also one very important thing that Bimal Prabhu brought about, which is very interesting also, is that there are many places in the Braj which are still not kind of founded, in the sense that they are the places where many great saints of India came to Vrindavan. For example, Mirabai came, Tulsidas came, and so on and so forth. There's so many people. And all these places, they have small, spots, small temples or small ashrams, which are falling apart and are forgotten. So we're helping to revive those properties, as well as, which is more important, is the preaching aspect in those fields. So that is the overall view of the property itself. In terms of the museum, we have in this meeting, I would like to hear from everyone after Bimal Prabhu does his part of the presentation. Everyone can speak, of course, that, what is the purpose of this museum? The angle I think we should be looking at is it is not just a memorial for Guru Maharaj, for the disciples. Of course, that is a great priority, but more, there are other aspects of Filza which are very important. And that we go by Srila Prabhupada's presentation, that Prabhupada said preaching is the essence, So we will spend so much time, money in establishing this museum and memorial. So we should also think of all the different aspects that we can be looking at, inviting students on daily basis, for example, inviting dignitaries so that they come. When they come, we get publicity, and we can promote what Prabhupada taught us, and what, how Guru Maharaj picked up on some of those, aspects, and he became a very dynamic preacher, and how the morals of that preaching aspects helps people to improve their lives and the society at large, So like that, we can have discourses. We have many nice people like Bimal Prabhu, who's again very expert in doing presentation and discourses. So we could, train people to do things like that. And another very important aspect to look at is also the maintenance, So in terms of maintenance, we should work out a scheme here such that the museum and property becomes self-sufficient for a long time to come. It may take a little time to get established, but while we are doing the construction and establishing the whole structure here, we should also be thinking how we can set up an income source so that maintenance will always be there, and then any funds that come in terms of surplus funds, those funds should be utilized for, promoting our activities and expanding our activities in such a way that if we are putting, say, X amount of funds in it, the Y amount of funds should also naturally come, because it becomes such an attractive aspect, So like I was talking to a very high level officer, representing the government of India this morning on the phone. And then I was telling him about this education. He was so very excited. He said, this is so wonderful. Government is thinking only they need bathrooms in the villages, but they're not thinking that they need education for poor people. And these girls are suffering, So like these aspects are very powerful. What we're doing is a very, very powerful humanitarian, service to the Brajbasis. So yeah, that is like the overall view in the picture. Now, maybe Bimal Prabhu, you like to kind of bring specifics about how you think we should be moving forward for the museum?
Sure. Yeah, I think the first perspective of this museum should be, as you said earlier, is, can you hear me, Prabhu? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. What the main aspect of this museum, or main perspective of this museum should be, we should use it as a tool for preaching. Just like a new museum is coming up in Iskon Vrindavan, which will be ready in a couple of months' time. The main thrust behind that is that it becomes a great preaching tool to tell, the public large what is ISKCON, and the devotees in ISKCON, and in this case, Maharaj, His Holiness Krishnadas Maharaj's life, and how he actually preached, how he was so instrumental in spreading Krishna consciousness worldwide. So I think that is the main thrust, or it should be the main thrust. And in terms of specifics, and the other point I like is self-sustainable process operation, and that's very important as well. But coming back to the specifics, just like any museum, we do, or anyone does, we need to work out our basics. What needs to go in the museum, what aspect, obviously in this case is Maharaj's museum, and it's memorial museum for Maharaj. So we need to discuss and finalize what aspect of Maharaja's life are we going to portray in the museum? That's number one. Number two is how many, because what this museum will constitute of. We are obviously, one part is the diorama, 3D diorama exhibition. The other aspect could be, I think we touched upon it last time when we had a meeting, kind of some audio visuals on the screen of Maharaja's life and his preaching activities worldwide. The second aspect, and any other aspect we can think of, both not just audio or visual or in the 3D dioramas. We can have other aspects in some museums you go to. They have again combination of audio visuals of different aspects which are not covered in the dioramic exhibition of Maharaj. There's a new museum came up in ISKCON Noida about a couple of years ago. It's a small area, but they've done it very nicely. They combined the 3D diorama exhibition as well as audio-visual exhibition very nicely. I think that could be a model we could kind of work upon. I have a small video of that. I just remembered. I can send it to this group. You can have a look later.
Yes, please. That would be very useful.
Yeah. I mean, the contents we can decide, but we should look at just the concept of this ISKCON Noida. I mean, personally, I don't fully agree with some of the contents. It's very psychedelic the way they've done it, but it's okay. But contents. The concept we should look at. I'll circulate that video. And yeah, so specifics. Work out. We need to discuss and finalize what aspect of Maharaja's life we want to display in 3D format. 3D format means diorama, full life.
Oh, I think you're stuck.
One thing is what type of pose Maharaj should be in: sitting, walking, standing, preaching, or preaching pose like that. And then how many murtis we need, how many dioramas we need to discuss that. And then according to that, we need to find a reference point, photographs specifically, because the artist will need a photograph. Now they're going into more details in terms of production. There are two types, two ways. There are many ways actually, but two main ways of producing these murtis is by a sculpturist. They do by hand with clay, and then that is cast mold. Mold is made and casted into. In this case, we're thinking fiberglass. That is one way. That's a very popular way. There's another way is also popular. Is a computer graphic artist. After looking at the photograph and the different pose, he actually makes a design, makes a proposal, and then we can all have a look, all electronically, and we can kind of give our our input in there, correct, amend. That is the way which we have followed in ISKCON Vrindavan, the current museum. We've been working on the last 8-10 months. It's, as I said, about to finish in a couple of months. And once we are satisfied with the computer graphic design after corrections if needed, then this particular process continues in second phase. The second phase is they actually print, they make a foam model out of it. EPS, it's known as foam. And then once that is produced, then there is opportunity, if needed, to correct and amend further. And after the foam model stage, this final stage is they actually make a mold and cast it, and then the fiberglass cast is produced. And that is the final. If corrections still needed to be done, can be done at last stage, but minor corrections. The whole process, it takes, depending on how quickly we agree on the computer design, and otherwise it can take about a month or maybe 6 weeks per murti. We should say about 4 or 5 weeks at least, from start to finish. And if we're going to have a life, and also depends on the size, the pose, sitting down or standing, is it going to be life size as well? Normally, which is 5 or 6 feet. So there's many factors involved. But coming back to the basics, what needs to be discussed is what aspect of Maharaja's life which we need to tell the world and display to the world.
I think that's really useful guidance that you're giving. And Bimal Krishna, I really appreciate you sparing the time, because I know there's lots going on. So if I can just share the screen, just to what we sort of, one second. Share. We sort of had a shot at it last time. After the meeting, I sort of sent a idea of what I would like to see, and perhaps what other devotees would like to see. But of course, this is not set in stone. Happy to change it around or whatever. So your point about both you and Trikal have made that point. Now, Guru Maharaj would be extremely happy with that, because he was a preacher. That was his. That's how he's known, you know, and he never stopped till the very end. So that is, and if this is not going to, if it's just a museum without any preaching, it will be a crying shame, you know, it will be a waste of time in many ways. Of course, we do want to commemorate Guru Maharaj's life, but we do it through a very practical way. His memory is not lost. His preaching is not lost. So I like that. So these are some of the, like this is a pose which is really, really nice pose. You know? So somewhere along the line we can include a diorama or whatever, perhaps including a picture like this. And the manner, of course, he was very instrumental, as you both were. And I really like this picture because it's got somebody who we sort of recognize. Maybe he was about 19 then, I think. But I would love this to be into some sort of diorama for both Trikal and Maharaj there, because that should give us the memory of Trikal going forward when we're all 6 foot under the ground or floating in the air somewhere. So that would be really good if it's, because the manner was a very big part of his life, and in fact all of your lives. There was some talk of last time about how he was connected with famous people, and we've got like, this is the what's his name, Khalifa of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and he always liked to give books. And this is, of course, George Harris. And again, that's manner related. And I like this one because it's also got Mukund Swami, who is Trikal's Guru Maharaj. So, you know, if we can somehow incorporate this as a whole picture, I don't know if that's we can think about. And this is really good because it's sort of interfaith. Swami Narayan, I don't know if that's... And then, of course, this is one of the most famous.
Pramukh Swami, yeah.
Pramukh Swami, yeah. This is one of the most famous. And he was very hot on, you know, vegetarian diet. So if we can somehow encapsulate this within what we're doing. So we got quite a lot. And in Mauritius, he made such a massive impact of changing the names of villages and roads. And the number of, you know, like very prominent disciples are there who, and Karuna Bandar is one of them. in South Africa and in Mauritius, it was really very, his preaching was very, very powerful. I mean, it's pretty powerful everywhere, but especially in Mauritius, changing names of towns and villages. So if we can incorporate that somewhere, and perhaps Karunabanda, maybe if we can source a picture of him with a road sign or something. Otherwise, we can just ask our artists to make something showing that on Photoshop. Yeah. Of course, Gomata was extremely dear to him. He set up Kalki Dam in Punjab, which is looking after about I think 70-80 Gomatas. This is huge, because we also want the blessings of Gomata, and at the end, Gomata came and licked his feet as well. When we were just finishing, he was finishing his pastimes on this planet. Rath Yatra. These are just extra pictures which I put in. I don't know if there'll be. And of course, a tribute to Prabhupada, no doubt about it. We need to have something with Prabhupada, but also with his own Guru Maharaj, Param Guru Maharaj, who initiated him into the Brahma Samprada. I think this is going to be quite important as well, if we can incorporate. And we'll need a really good picture. I haven't got a good picture of, and I was hoping Priyavrat or Shatrughn, I know in South Africa, they've got good pictures of Param Guru Maharaj. If that can be sourced, then that will help us get the diorama or whatever done. And I think that's it. So that's where we sort of had our thought process. Now, if anybody's got any other suggestions or ideas, please, you can air them now. This is a really good time to what would you like to see? Yeah, what would you like to see? Don't be quiet, please. Yes, Uddhav.
Yes. Should we have something about Lord Kalki?
Yeah, because that was quite important to him. It was very important to him. And we've got a nice picture of him with, yeah, it's a good thought. Uddhav, I think your daughter's got a suggestion. Huh?
My son.
Oh, son. Uddhav, we also had a suggestion about an altar where we can offer incense, something like that.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We should have something like that. Maybe his lotus feet, which we can offer a flower to whoever comes, offers a flower. Something which is low maintenance. What we don't want is, because after our generation leaves, nobody's gonna really do any puja as such. But because this wonderful place will be used as offices of Govardhan Institute for Vedic Education, it's always going to be busy. There's always going to be something going on. So there will be some sort of natural maintenance going on. In terms of puja and service, we cannot expect that to continue after we're dead, sort of thing.
Right.
So we need to keep it low maintenance, but easy to keep clean, very powerful from a visual point of view, from a preaching point of view.
Right.
That's the sort of angle that we're looking at.
Yep, makes sense. So like the footprints of Maharaj, and maybe a picture, or no, not a picture.
We'll have loads of dioramas, right? The idea is subject to what Bhimo Krishna suggests, because really we want to take a lot of guidance from him.
Okay. In terms of the number of dioramas, we are obviously limited by the space, the area we have.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact size of the space. Maybe Trikalaya Prabhu can help. But what I remember I don't think we can fit more than 5 or 6 different dioramas.
That's enough. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
If we can say, if we can stretch it to 6, that's more than enough.
Right. So let's say 5, or let's say maximum of 6, because it'll be too crowded.
So shall we say 5?
Then
we say 5?
Yeah, let's aim for 5. And if there is a space, we can work out later. Let's say aim for 5, and then now we have to decide what 5 dioramas we need. Are we gonna at what point in Maharaja's life we're gonna start? And so that'll be the first diorama, and obviously, yeah.
That's good. Actually, let's just stop there. The first one, unless anybody has any objection, it should be Param Guru Maharaj with Guru Maharaj, right? Because that's he would want that to be remembered, because he was always very grateful to his Guru Maharaj. So that's a good start. Sure. So carry on.
Yeah. After that, we obviously, one of the dioramas is going to be him preach, manner campaign.
Yes.
I think two, maybe 3, at least minimum 2 dioramas, manner campaign. One photo we saw with Maharaja and Trikalagya Prabhu. That's one of the dioramas. One will be with Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela, yeah.
Okay.
And the other one we talked about, and then preaching aspect. So the manner campaign, and then his preaching is obviously with that Muslim priest. There'll be another one.
That's
or in
that's 4. So we only got 1 left, which will need to be Gautama.
We will need to return and rethink the what exactly this is just a proposal, and everyone should think about it and then come up with the final proposal. I mean, in my mind, is where he started. Then how? I think there should be something. Is there any photograph with Maharaj and Prabhupada?
I was thinking
that
about
could
this.
be.
I was thinking about the same thing, Prabhu. There is one, but it's not like Guru Maharaj is not very prominent in that. So I was wondering, can we like Photoshop something where Maharaj is in center, and on one side we have Param Guru Maharaj, on one side we have Prabhupada, and they're both kind of blessing him on his head and giving his blessings.
Excellent, Uda. What did you have for breakfast? I'll have some of the same. Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So the theme. So we need to work out a theme. All this has to be thematical. So when anyone who is coming and viewing the museum, and if somebody is explaining to them, it has to be a theme, a sequential theme, starting, middle, and end.
Good.
So those 3 points we have to remember. Just like the museum in ISKCON Vrindavan, we have a theme. The theme, it starts with, there are many, actually 4 or 5 themes combined into one projection, and works very well. It starts with Radha Krishna and ends with Radha Krishna. And in between, the parampara is displayed, the transcendental knowledge, how it's passed down, that is told, and what is ISKCON, that is coming into this. So whoever's taking the preaching, they will bring these themes into their tour, small tour, and where Prabhupada comes into ISKCON, and ISKCON is not a Western organization, has ancient roots in India. So many themes are going in. So similarly, when we finalize this museum for Maharaj, we have to have points for preaching. So whoever's taking somebody around, they can explain. That's how Maharaj started. That's how he came to the West, and this is how he participated in the manner campaign. That's how he preached, and that's like this, and how he expanded. He built that Kalki Dham, for example. So it has to be a thematical progression.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So in terms of the themes, if we start with Param Guru Maharaj and Guru Maharaj, who giving him the blessings and
yeah. So just for one more interruption, those other themes or ideas which we can't fit into the diorama exhibition, we can have on audiovisual on a screen.
Yeah.
You know, so there's so many things we can have there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if we start with,
And you look at Guru Maharaj's picture with Kalki.
I was thinking about it. Yeah. If we start with his beginning of his spiritual life, Param Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada, so that could that be one diorama? Would that be possible?
Yeah. See, now we're talking about three murtis, right?
Three characters. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's create a wish list first, and then we see how practical will be according to space.
Yeah. And then the second one is the Manna campaign, because that was really where he did a lot of effort, put a lot of effort with you guys as well. And then, so that, what does that convey? How the importance of fighting for Dharma, live for Dharma, die for Dharma. Because that was one of his major quotes. So that somewhere we can maybe even put a quote like live for Dharma, die for Dharma.
Right.
So that would work quite well.
Also maybe Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita.
Yeah, good. Brilliant. And then the third one, Nelson Mandela, that's really high profile. And we have the Khalifa, the Muslim preaching. Now the Muslim preaching, whilst it is important, it wasn't that prominent. We did a few programs with the Muslim community. And I'm not sure how in Vrindavan that would, would that be considered important?
I think it's probably better to have Nelson Mandela diorama with him. The Muslim preaching and other aspects of preaching we can show on the visual, on the screen.
Brilliant. Right. Nelson, let's do that. So then that's 3. Fourth one is Gomata and Kalki. We can again try to see if we can, because Kalki Dham and Goshala are together, and that was really his very close to his heart. The Goshala. Yeah. So Gomata, and if we can include Kalki there as well, that will be interesting. And so that's 4.
And fifth can be Mauritius preaching.
Sorry, Uddhav?
Can the fifth one be the preaching in Mauritius?
Yeah. The changing of the names.
Right.
What do you think?
Change around.
So the 5th or the 6th one, we have to finish. This is the 5th. We have to finish the theme, because this Mauritius preaching can be on the audio visual and other aspects. We already have one preaching aspect, because now we have to close this with the final diorama. We have to close the whole display and come to a conclusion. We started with how he's entered spiritual life with initiation from Param Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Then the Manna campaign. Then
Mandela.
Mandela. So we are progressing through his life, and whatever is in between and associated with each exhibition, that can be done on the visual on the screen.
Yeah. The end actually is the Gomata and Kalki, because that's where he finished his real end pastimes, and he went back to the roots of his Guru Maharaj's, desires. So that's the end. So then we've got 4 dioramas. And if you think 4, if we can fit in another one, and we've got...
I think there's a possibility. I think there's...
So
we
we
can.
can,
Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji, we can have Mauritius as the 5th one, but actually 4th one. So we switch the Kalkidam one.
Yeah, put Mauritius. Good. Okay. So that's the 5. And now I wanted
See,
to...
actually, can I say something? Like Bimal Prabhu stressing on starting and ending. So we are not just looking at how Maharaj starts and how he ends. Actually, we're looking at blessings starting from Guru Parampara. And we should end with, blessings coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Good.
It should be like, because he did all this, he got blessings of, Radha Shyamsundar like that.
Good.
Right.
Good.
So the last one, can we include their Gaumata, Kalki Ji, and Lord Krishna and end it there?
Yeah.
That's on the 4.
Let's see if that's possible. That would be good end. So I just wanted to hear others. There's Shiv Dayal, there's Priyavrat, Karuna, and Shatrughn has had to go.
No, I'm carefully listening to the Hare Krishna. I'm carefully listening to the views of all of you. I'll respond at appropriate time, but still I'm working on the suggestions.
Yeah, this is just the first round. Don't worry, you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Give me 30 more seconds.
There's also Atma Darshini. So thank you, Shiv Dayal Prabhu. Yeah, what we'll do at the end of this meeting, we'll post this meeting and we'll do some short minutes. And these are the proposals. And then we can have maybe a couple of weeks to think about it. Whilst
With photographs. Please send with photographs.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I did with the previous one. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear from Priyavrat. Any suggestions your side?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Not at the moment. I'm just a bit concerned, not concerned, but would Srila Prabhupada and Param Guru Maharaj on one? Would that not create unnecessary
Confusion.
problems?
What are you thinking? I mean, be frank. This won't be this. And when we post this, this is only between the people in that group. Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel that maybe we should have. We've got 4 at the moment. Maybe we should have. One with Prabhupada and one with Param Guru Maharaj. Separately instead of it being together.
Yeah. Mauritius can go on that video.
Yeah. Why would you think it was going to cause a problem?
It's a difficult one. With whatever Guru Maharaj has gone through, with an ISKCON,
Are you?
Let me think. Yeah, let me just think again.
Are you worried about? Are you worried about ISKCON complaining, or are you worried about our God?
I'm worried about ISKCON complaining.
I don't care about ISKCON. This is nothing to do with ISKCON whatsoever, right?
Okay, then that's fine.
Absolutely nothing to do with ISKCON. So,
and the point is, when Prabhupada met, Guru Maharaj, he told him that you don't need to take first and second initiation again. You're already initiated. So I'm going to give you sannyas initiation, So it's a very powerful thing that Prabhupada telling him that I'll give you sannyas,
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah. So in terms of people who are representing ISKCON, that is secondary. Although, like Priyavrat is right, there's always politics and some trouble can come up. But like we said, we are not working under the umbrella of ISKCON. We are working under the umbrella of Live and Give. So they have nothing to do. They cannot have a say in it.
What about the God brothers and God sisters, Priyavrat? Do you think
It's a very
You think
Very good suggestion from.
Sorry, Shubh, Daya Prabhu, we can hardly hear you.
we can't hear you, Shiv Dayal Prabhu.
It must be considered properly.
Yes, definitely we should.
Two dioramas. It should be considered. Yeah.
No. Let's see how it fits. If it fits into two, first prize, because then that can be maybe the sannyas aspect to it. But if we have to do one, do you think, Priya, that any of the god brothers will complain, god sisters?
I don't know. No, I do not think so.
Okay. And in terms of from Guru Maharaj's parampara side, I don't think anybody will complain from that side either.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think they would.
So all we're worried about ISKCON, and who in ISKCON will even care, right? If they do complain, I'll be really happy, because that means that somebody's actually actually made the effort of coming and seeing it. So
I have a suggestion and a plan. There are many, amongst every group, there's always some politicians, some good, some bad, some ugly. So there are good people who appreciated Guru Maharaj so much,
Yeah.
So what we will do, if everyone agrees, is some of those devotees who are very, very well placed in ISKCON and who are aloof from the ISKCON politics. Now they're in a different stage. So we will get some references from them, We can get quotes from them about Guru Maharaj, and that can be part of the thing,
Yeah, good.
So
good.
It's very powerful thing. I'll just tell you that the book I have written, and thanks to Live and Abhinav Prabhu for that, sponsoring that I thought, okay, if I put one spiritual master's, say I put my Guru Maharaj's, endorsement in there, then there will be others will think it's just saying that, oh, he's just doing it for his guru. If I do it for, like, say, any of the other gurus who are politicians or so many politically oriented, then one will get offended by the other. So I found a very neutral person who's loved by everyone and is very cool and calm-headed person. And I got the endorsement from him, and everyone respects him. So, in the similar way, we find 2 or 3 people who respect Guru Maharaj so much so that they'll be happy to say something positive,
Yeah.
Even if you get it in writing from them, and then maybe we'll do a clipping with them for 30 seconds or something, and that can be part of our animation. I was thinking that just like as we put the dioramas, Bhima is a kind of thought just flashed as you were talking about the dioramas, that, like in Delhi temple, we put a lot of animations, small screens, big screens, and even the dioramas speaking. So we could think of putting some small animations, because the room here is almost 14 foot high,
Yeah.
So we have plenty of space at the top. So just above the dioramas or on the side of the dioramas, we could have smaller screens. And after each screen, after each diorama or above each diorama, we can have like a 2 or 3 minutes flash of what it really means, and it could be very entertaining for school students and educational also. And when the dignitaries come also, it'd be something very useful for us to show, And in those animations, we could have Guru Maharaj's actual voice, him speaking, and him giving some extraordinary quotes. It was like a thunderbolt, So those are the things that people appreciate, especially, the dignitaries will come, or, pilgrims will come. And then they can see that, like, not just ISKCON, but India had some really great, heroic preachers,
That's a good idea. Thing with too much electronic stuff, it breaks down quickly, right? Because of the extremes of weather in India. So just need to be mindful, because going forward, we want to make sure it's easy sort of maintenance. But yeah, it's good suggestions. Atma.
Hi, Krishna.
Hey.
I was just thinking about that point. I'm not sure if it makes reference or what, but I was just thinking that, like, our Guru Parampara comes a lot in, like, Siksha as well. For example, Bhakti Vinod Thakur was like Siksha Guru of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So even if we had both Param Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, it would be like Diksha Guru giving blessings and Siksha Guru giving blessings. I was just thinking of that aspect as well.
Yeah, yeah, good. But also, as Trikal Prabhu said, he's the sannyas guru of Guru Maharaj. So,
that's right.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't think there's a conflict. What would what would they possibly say? If they say, oh, who is this guru? Well, you know, Guru Maharaj took initiation before you were even born.
Exactly. So... and everybody knows about that anyways, that Guru Maharaj had already taken initiation before he came to...
Yeah. And frankly speaking, I don't even give a monkeys what people think. Okay, gone beyond. Anything else, Atma? Any other suggestions in terms of the theme, the diorama? Are you thinking? Do you think it's a good idea what we're going through? I mean, you don't have to commit now because we will give everybody time.
So I liked what we were talking about, and I was just thinking, I just want to think if there's anything else that I can think of. But I think it's nice to have covered every like important aspect of Guru Maharaj's life, like in a kind of an order. You know, like that kind of thing. But I will think if there's anything else that I can think of.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I tell you, Bhima Krishna Prabhu, you've really given us good framework. So that's really important. Thank you. Karuna.
Hey Krishna.
Hey.
So Mauritius, I was thinking about the temple where Srila Prabhupada resided when he visited Mauritius. So I tried to find photographs of Guru Maharaj visiting the same temple. Or maybe we can have some type of photoshopping and include Srila Prabhupada in the temple over there. Or maybe Ganga Talab. Guru Maharaj was very keen about Ganga Talab. The Chota Haridwar has, he would say this.
Yeah, that would definitely be, I think, on the screen. But I think for Mauritius, the most powerful thing that came from that and what he was so happy with was the changing of the names.
Yeah, I'll try also to get the photographs of the names of the roads and the village. Yeah, I'll try to get that.
Brilliant. Because that we can probably put into a diorama. Maybe he's, you know, like there's a sign, Hare Krishna Road or whatever it was. And maybe with the Prime Minister, you know, just opening it or something like that. We can do some imaginative thinking there.
Yes.
Very good. Any other suggestions at all?
No.
Okay. So I think unless anybody else has got anything to say, what we can do, we'll put the suggestions on the group. I'll put a copy of this recording in there. And maybe if timescales, what sort of timescales, Bhima Krishna, are reasonable?
As I said, once we finalize, I think to finalize this particular aspect of the process, I think we need probably another 2 more meetings.
Okay. So can we set one for in 2 weeks' time? 2 weeks' time?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. 2 weeks' time. And then before that, like today or tomorrow, we'll post these things. Any more thoughts? Any more pictures?
Yeah. Meanwhile, you know, I think it'll be good that everyone who has any photograph of Maharaj anywhere, we should just make a collection because they'll be very useful in the visual in the screen, and you know his recordings. I'm sure you have all the recordings, but relevant quotations.
No, we got that. What I can do, I've got probably a PowerPoint with about 100 or maybe 200 pictures. I can post that on the group. And that will also give a very good idea to whoever's doing the dioramas, how he looks. And
can you create like a Dropbox where if people have photographs, they can load them on there?
Yeah, we can do that. Good idea. Yeah, okay. I'll point.
Also, the website has a lot of pictures. that we collected at the.
Correct. Brilliant idea. Yeah, good.
And also actually videos. Is any videos?
There's
on the
loads.
screen. Order. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Because what we're having, just for information, in the museum in Vrindavan, we're gonna have a big screen where we're gonna just not sound, just no audio, but the visual of Prabhupada, his videos, his the Acharya series, for example.
Yeah.
We're gonna put that in a loop, so people will just come and see Prabhupada all the time. So
we
like that we can do.
Yeah, we can create a loop.
Yeah.
And I really like the idea of of the preaching, like the children, the prominent guests, because he liked the idea of both. He loved the school preaching. Get prominent people to come and preach it to them as well. So that will really resonate well with what we're doing. So I'm sure this will get his blessings. So.
Right.
All right. So 2 weeks time, we can meet again. And in the meantime, if anybody, I'll create the Dropbox, and Bimokrisha Prabhu, you can perhaps share the. Was it Noida?
Oh yeah. I'll. There's a small video of the Noida Museum. We can again just we look at the concept, maybe not the content.
Yeah.
So I'll do that soon after this meeting.
Thank you. Unless there's anything else, I'd like to thank you. Thank you for joining us from all the way from Vrindavan Dham.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Canada, Mauritius, Gurgaon, and South Africa. Oh, Priyavrat, would you be able to get Guru Maharaj's, Param Guru Maharaj's picture? A nice one of.
Yeah, we do have one. Obviously, it's a picture of a picture. But,
yeah.
Let me see what we can arrange. I will let you know.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Prabhu also did just one more point as well. From my side, in terms of the cost, the monthly cost for Give, do we have a bank account opened up already?
We've already got one trust which we've just collapsing because we want to. Oh, right? Because you're a trustee. We want to make it into a really strong trust. So Trikal is just getting the PAN card for application is in, and hopefully in the next week or two that will come through, and then we'll have a bank account open.
Okay.
Yes, in about maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have the new bank account.
Okay. And in terms of the monthly cost at the moment, how can we contribute towards that?
Okay. What are we doing?
Abhinandan, you can work that out with him.
Yeah. Basically, what we do is there's roughly about 10 devotees who are helping Trikal Prabhu, and we're giving some maintenance towards that. And it's roughly coming out about 1,000 to 1,200 pounds a month. So whatever you're able to contribute, it'll help us. But we can talk about that, as you said, as Trikal said.
Okay.
Separate.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Unless there's anybody else, I'd like to thank everybody for joining and contributing so nicely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I'm having struggle leaving the meeting.
Okay.
Hey, Hare Krishna.
Let me leave the meeting. I put on it 20 times.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm back in Canada now.
So how's married life?
It's okay so far. Prabhu is still back in India. I'm Bharat at the moment.
Oh, so
that's why it's okay. You're having a party. I know.
I will have to do the paperwork and everything. So.
Yes.
Okay.
How long it will take?
They say 8 months to a year.
Oh, you're joking.
I'm serious. I'm just starting the paperwork this weekend, hopefully. Just need to make sure everything is fine and stuff.
Yeah.
So. Oh man.
Yes.
All right.
Sure. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
No, that's really no good. Anyway.
So it looks like I can't leave your meeting. It's just refusing to make me leave.
I'll do that. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.